welcome back, part-time family. We are gearing up for open water. We are no longer ice fishing, but today's video is a little different. I'm gonna apologize for any bounce. I kind of have you set up a little different, but we're in the truck and we're heading to Minnesota. We're gonna meet up with some guys, and I'll kind of go more into it here once we get up on the road a little bit. But today's video is not necessarily about fishing, but what the fishing community can do. So stay with me. We're gonna make a stop here at the gas station real quick. For all you Midwesterners, you know we're gonna hit up Casey's, get some snacks, get some gas, and we're gonna get on the road. We got a 4-hour trip before we get to the hotel. And yeah, we did bring some Hendrix Fishing goodies for some of the guys that we're meeting up with. So like I said, let me get to the gas station, let's get the goods, and I'll check in with you once we get up on the road and kind of let you know what we're doing in Minnesota. All right, got gas, got the snacks, and you know we had to get some Casey's pizza. Well, if you don't know, hit up a Casey's when you're in the Midwest to get yourself some pizza. This is good pizza. That's from a gas station. But we got 3 hours, 54 minutes, 255 miles. Should be there about 7:30. So let's get on the road. Once we get up on the interstate, I'll kind of explain more of what we're doing. All right, we're on the road officially. We're moving. So, why am I going to Minnesota? You're all probably wondering. Well, if you've read the title, you already know it's for an amazing cause. But shout out to Real Custom Art. He messaged me, when was this? End of January, or sorry, middle of February. He said, hey, you need to check this guy out, JG's Custom Lures. He does this auction every year, and all the proceeds go to St. Jude's. For anybody that doesn't know what St. Jude's is, well, hey, you should Google it. It's a great research facility. They take care of kids and help them fight against cancer. So I'm like, enough said. Auction, money goes to the kids. I'm all for it. So tune into his lives on Facebook. Never did before. He messaged me. You know, I pitched in a few extra bucks. Not say it's you, but I pitched in appropriate money to get the item shipped to me. And he said, hey, you know, it's about 8 hours away from where I am. He's in upper Minnesota. You know, I'm right here in Omaha, Nebraska, but what would you think about maybe meeting halfway? I'd love to shake your hand and, you know, deliver this stuff in person and get to know you a little bit. I said, dude, JG, that would be awesome. I don't mind making a 4-hour drive. Let's do it. Plus, guys, you know me, I've got the rods in the truck. They got ice still. We might hit a little bit of ice just to try to catch that perch that I'm chasing. So, but we're heading to St. James, Minnesota. Don't know much about it. It's kind of the midway point between where he lives and where I'm at. So if any of you guys are from the Minnesota area, know that area, hey, howdy, how you doing? But I'm excited. It sounds like him and the family came down. They're already at the hotel. I'm out there. We're going to meet them up around dinner time here. Just kind of kick back. I may not record much tonight. I may bust the camera out tomorrow, just like get the heads up. You know, not everybody's ready to go in front of the camera. Let him share his story a little bit about why he wanted to do the auctions. Kind of his take on the whole thing and how it went. But make sure you guys go follow him. I'll make sure to post this stuff down below on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, JG's Custom Lures. Man does amazing work. If you are a walleye fisherman, this guy, he paints Band-Aids. And not Band-Aids, Bandits. Wow, words are hard while you're driving. So, I'm not sure what a Bandit is. I'm about to find out because apparently I won some in the auction. But you walleye fishermen apparently know what these are, and they're like gold apparently. But next year, guys, I will make sure I will post stuff on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. I'm going to get Hendrix involved too. We're going to get some stuff donated to... All right. Good morning, part-time family. Last you saw me, we were in the car. And like I mentioned in the car, probably wasn't going to break the camera out last night just because I did, you know, JG had his family. I didn't want to just bombard him with the camera. They probably would have been fine with it after we were joking about it. For those of you that follow on TikTok, though, you know that Real Custom Art went live. JG joined them. I was in the background. We were having a good time.
and wow, I finally saw the box of baits we got, the ice rod, the backpack. I got it all in the truck right now. When we get back home, I'll definitely bust that out and show you guys. I may even have to, I might just show you the box, but I may have to do a little bit of an unboxing video that you guys will stay tuned for, because there are baits from a lot of amazing small companies, and I'd like to give each one their own little shout out, because great baits for a great cause. Just texted everybody. I was just getting up and moving here. As you can see, nothing special. We just stayed in a little Super 8, got the job done. We're gonna have a little breakfast, and we're gonna have JG himself get in front of the camera here and kind of explain a little bit more about the amazing cause, the St. Jude cause, and then why you guys should join in next year, because we're gonna hit that 20K mark. Trust me on that. And the items that you're gonna have a chance to bid on, it's gonna be insane. He's gonna do stuff that's like small packages, to where he's gonna post them, and first one, hey, 40, 50 bucks, boom, you got it, and all those proceeds go. Because yeah, some of the products and some of the items got a little crazy to bid on, because, which is good though. I mean, he's not mad about it, but some people got a little frustrated, like, oh man, it kind of sucks, because I wanted to bid on that, but I can't even bid on it because it got way up there. And it's like, in one hand, you can't be mad though, because the money's for the kids, but in the other, I get where they're coming from. They want to be able to take part, and they want to be able to, you know, get in on the action themselves. So next year's going to be insane. He's going to have stuff for those folks, and then he's going to have those items that, yeah, let's get the auction rolling. Let's get some money raised for kids. So let's get some breakfast. Let me get some coffee and some water going. And next time the camera's on, I promise you guys will meet JG. See, I need coffee. JG, and he'll let him explain a little bit more. And like I said, we still might get out and fish a little bit. There's a lake here, has perch in it. As you guys know, I'm still chasing the yellow perch. Some of you are laughing, because I get it. You guys up here, you guys have perch in like every lake. It's like a bluegill. We have one lake and the perch are itty bitty, and it was hard to get them to bite. So hopefully I can go knock a perch out. Big crappie, big pike, who knows? I'm excited. We're just going to be able to catch our first Minnesota fish. Stay tuned. Whew. All right, guys. Had a great breakfast. They actually had some biscuits and gravy, so shout out to Super 8. Normally they just have the waffles, which, hey, I'm not gonna complain. The waffles are always, you guys know what I'm talking about, hotel waffles at the spot. But I'm actually sitting with our good friend JG's Customs, right? Yep, he's shaking his head yep at me. So, like I said, I kind of gave you guys a little bit of the backstory. I'm gonna let him kind of fill in a little bit more for you, kind of tell you guys a little bit more about it, and why next year you guys need to tune in, get in on some of these auctions, because there's some great prizes. Like I said, I'm gonna have to do a separate video just of unboxing. I'm not kidding. I'll show you guys when we get to the truck. It is a full box of baits from a lot of different bait makers. I'm excited. And next year's just gonna be even crazier. And yes, Hendrix is gonna get in there. So if you're a Hendrix Fishing fan, you're gonna have to bid on some of those amazing baits too. We're gonna do some custom colors just to have fun with it. So without further ado, welcome to the main man himself, JG. How you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
I slept decent, but I woke up like I still had the kid next to me, so.
Well, I had two kids next to me that were fighting half the night, but yeah, they're kids. So, a little bit about my back history. I started painting about 5 years ago. I seen it on YouTube, seen it on Facebook. I was like, hey, I want to try that, just so I can paint some stuff that you can't find in a local store or Bass Pro Shop or Cabela's. Which now they're actually starting to get a little smarter, and I believe they're starting to watch custom painters. But besides that, so I got into painting, had some fun with it, so I created my JG's Custom Lures. Well, how I got into doing the St. Jude's auction, the fundraiser, is on my way to work. The local radio station, B105, in Duluth, they do a radiothon for St. Jude's, and it kind of hit home, because when I just graduated from high school, I had a good friend who ended up dying from leukemia just after graduation. So it kind of got me thinking, you know, they do the call in, you know, donate this much per month, and I'm like, well, I really can't afford that, because I can't, you know, fixed income, 2 new kids. You know, we were kind of like, I can't do that. But then I started thinking, I'm like, well, I have my small business. Why can't I just do something with that? So I went home, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I'm gonna go live on Facebook. I've been doing Facebook Lives, painting and selling lures for about 3 years now. So it was just before I started doing the St. Jude's is when I actually started selling lures and stuff and actually created the business. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna just paint some lures live one night and auction them off. So a bunch of people got on, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do this tonight. They're like, all right, cool. So I started pulling out some blanks and saying, you know, shouting out to the people that were watching me, and now most of them are all my followers. And I'm like, hey, throw me some color patterns out, you know, color combinations, and I'll make some cool lures up, and we'll auction them off at the end of the night. They're like, okay, sweet. And then I told them I'm doing this for St. Jude's through a radiothon, and I'll present the check with them, or I'll bring the check down to them when I can. Well, I missed the deadline to actually do the check the first year live on the radio. But I brought it down like a week later and presented it to them, and they still got the check down to them, and I still got a pretty cool note from St. Jude's, which that was really cool. So anyways, back to the story. Painted up like 10 lures. Well, Daryl Wood from High Tech Custom was watching me, and he's like, hey, let me on live with you while I'm painting. So I did. So Daryl came on from High Tech, and he's like, I'm gonna send you out a dozen baits. He's like, but we want to do the auction tomorrow night. I'm like, all right, that sounds like a good idea. And everybody else that was watching agreed. So like, all right, these are the baits that I got. Daryl said he's gonna send out a dozen. I'm like, Daryl, send me pictures of these baits so I can at least hold pictures up so people know what they're bidding on. He's like, not a problem. So he took pictures of all of them, sent them out to me. And then, so the next night, jumped back on live. And then we were going through, and I was just started it off, you know, I did no event for it. I just put on a post, hey, doing fundraiser for St. Jude, come join us. And I think we got like 100 and something people on like instantly. I was like, awesome, cool. So we started going through, and I literally had, from what I painted the night before, somewhere right around 10 baits. Daryl had the 12 he was gonna send me. So we went through all of those, and everybody wanted more. I literally had my tackle box sitting right next to me in the house. So I started pulling out stuff that I'd painted for myself. And I'm like, well, these haven't been used yet. They're still new. They're just in my tackle box. And I started making packages out of my own personal painted stuff that I did. And the first year we ended up raising $2,400, which was amazing off of minimal baits.
So year one, it sounds like you weren't expecting much. You were just doing this because you were, you know, you had that sentimental tie with a buddy of yours, and you saw that the radiothon. You're like, oh, if I could just like $100, it'd be great.
Yeah, I was.
Is that kind of what the thought was?
My
really?
thought was, if I hit 500, I was gonna be like ecstatic.
Okay.
And we hit 2,400.
How'd that feel?
I basically was in tears.
Okay.
So I was like, awesome. I was like, I'm gonna do it again next year. So the next year, I actually set up an event, but I did it to where it was like a 2-week event. I painted for a week, and then the next week I did the auction at the end of the week like we did this year.
So kind of the build the excitement.
Build the excitement.
And let people see kind of, ooh,
yep.
I'm gonna want that. I gotta make sure I'm there for that.
And again, it was everybody's suggestions, you know, throw colors out there. So I did a lot of interaction with people watching. Okay, we're gonna paint this bait. What do you guys want it to look like? Some people would be like, I don't know, do a neon perch. So I'd do a neon perch pattern. Some people would be like, brown, pink, and purple. I'm like, oh, how's this gonna turn out? Well, actually, some of those turned out to be the best looking baits. So we did that for the week. And then the beginning of the week, I would go through, and again, now we're in the second year, but I reached out to more companies.
Okay.
And I can't remember how many companies joined us last year, but I think I want to say it was like 12. 12 or 13.
So it went from you and one other company to now you and 12 to 13 other companies.
Yeah.
Sending anywhere from a handful of baits to a bait.
Right.
Okay.
So
And
it was like some of them would send 5, some would send 25.
Okay.
Depending on if it was plastics.
Yeah.
Or if it was, you know, custom crankbaits.
Now
And this is where, now,
what year's this now?
this would have been 21.
Okay.
So started it in 2020.
Okay. So heat of COVID.
Yep. Literally, COVID hit right after. And then 21. Now 22 that we just, wait, hold on here. Let me redo that. 20,
21, 22.
22, 23.
Okay.
So it was 21 the first year.
Okay.
Was the actual first year that I did it. Then 22 was last year when we raised. So back before we get to what we raised. So I got like 12, 13, 14 other companies. I can't remember exactly how many. Some of them sent out a couple knives, a handful of baits, and then Daryl again jumped on board with me. He's like, oh yeah, I'm totally in. Well, he's always got to throw a curveball in there. And then again, now Crossroad Customs, another big company, he joined in. And he threw a couple curveballs in there also. So these two bigger companies just came out swinging. And so everything said and done, my stuff, everybody else's stuff, all the companies. So we've got, just to name off a few for the second year, and some of you might know them, we have High Tech Customs, Crossroad Customs, myself. There was Tight Lines Custom Lures, Iron Range Custom Lures up by me, E&M Tackle, buddy of mine out of Duluth, and there was a few more I can't think of off the top of my head. So again, we did the auction, but I added a night. So now we're at 2 nights for the second year.
So 2 nights now. And what was your expectations year 2? You're like, now you got a couple more companies. You knew what you did year 1. Going into
I honestly didn't have any expectations at all. I was like, whatever we raise is what we raise.
Okay.
So we started off, and I was just like, I want to raise at least what we got from the first year. Because I thought that was amazing. You know, $2,400, that's a lot for a small company and a handful of people.
How did night 1 go then?
Night 1 went good. We broke, I'm pretty sure we broke the 2,400.
So you're feeling great at this point.
Right. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we get to the second night, and then that's when, you know, the bigger companies, they pipe in, hey, you know, let's get this up to there. I'll throw in, and everybody was throwing in extras. Like, I'll paint up this and send them out if we hit this amount. So we ended up, all in all, the second year, we ended up raising $5,200.
Not bad. You're feeling better. We doubled it.
Right. So now total between year 1, year 2, we're at around $7,600, give or take. I can't remember exact numbers. I'd have to go back and look. So we're over $7,000 in 2 years of doing this, and I was like, all right, your third year, we're doing the same thing. Year of painting, or a week of painting, and then clear coat everything, get it set up, you know, show everything during that leg time until the night of the auction. So I added another night. Well, in the meantime, before the start of the auction, I reached out to a bunch of companies off of TikTok. So now I'm reaching out in the end of 2022 and beginning of 2023.
Now, and for anybody that's watching, if you guys aren't on TikTok, or if you are, please go follow everybody, including myself, because the fishing community is getting huge on TikTok.
It is.
And not just fishing as in, I'm grabbing around and going fishing. The bait making community is huge and it seems you guys are very tight knit.
Surprisingly, we are. It's like, not to be like, how can I word this without being disrespectful? Some, like Facebook, they seem a little more closed. You can still get information and talk with people. But like on the TikTok community, the bait making community, obviously everybody has their little secrets. And you're not going to give out all of your secrets on how to do some things. Honestly, I don't care.
Well, like last night, you and Jeremy were live.
Right.
Some of you guys may have noticed the other night that Jeremy and JG here were live. You guys were talking about clear coat stuff.
Right.
But you guys were just going back and forth like, hey man, try this, do that. Have you tried doing that? I do this. So you guys work together on that end. But at the same time, and Jeremy was working on a pattern. Hey, try doing it this way. But at the same time, Jeremy wasn't telling you exactly what he was doing.
Right. and that's the thing is everybody has their one little thing that sets them apart or their difference between what they do as their business and what I do. Me, I'm at the point where I've done this long enough. People know me. They know my stuff. If they want to purchase something from me, they can. Besides that, back to the whole St. Jude's. That's a whole nother video. Back to the St. Jude's. So I started reaching out on Facebook again, reaching out to the companies that were on the year before, and I honestly didn't even have to reach out to those people. They're like, absolutely, I'm on again this year. I think one company from the year before didn't join because he had huge, and which I understand, he had some huge already prior arrangements that he's like, I can't do it this year, and I get that, you know, people, if they got their own things going on. Hey, it is what it is. I'm never going to hold that against somebody. I'm going to be like, well, hey, if you're not going to join, I don't care. Heck no, man, I still buy his stuff.
I'd rather you tell me now than admit you can't do it. Yep.
So I reached out, and I don't know the exact number that we got, but I want to say it was right around 100 companies on the third year of doing this.
I heard when you, and I know you're going to talk about it probably too, but when you went to the radio station, you gave them a list.
Yeah.
And they were blown away they were thinking, oh, nice. They probably like a little sheet of, and then they were blown away at how long this list of companies were.
Yeah. And it was, I can't remember exactly. I think it might have been just shy of 90. Unfortunately, last minute, a couple of the companies couldn't send stuff out. Again, I get it. Family emergencies, things pop up, and life happens. But they're like, well, I'll still send stuff out. I'm like, no, just hold it. Next year, it's all good. We rocked it out. They still got mentioned, whatever. And I'm going to do that. Because if companies say they're going to join, one of them reached out and he's like, I'm so sorry. Give me the information. I will send it out. And he actually sent me the pictures, which is awesome. Got that information to the person, and they already got their package. So everything works out. I think it was right around 87 or 90 companies. So now I'm like, all right, I want to set a goal for this year. My goal was 10,000, or at least get what we had made in the first 2 years, which was 7,600.
Okay, so get the combined total for the 2 years.
I wanted to beat the combined total of the first 2 years.
I think that's fair growth. I mean, you doubled what you did the first year.
Right.
Now you're at 5, so the goal's, hey, let's do 10. Let's try to double what we did. But at the very least, let's just keep moving forward.
Right. I don't want to go backwards, because if you go backwards, you're like,
what did I do wrong?
What did I do wrong? It wouldn't make me feel like I accomplished anything from the year before.
Well, guys, as I told you, this was the first year now I'm getting involved because of that TikTok community. Real Custom Art got to know you, tossed in a couple baits.
Yep.
And he got me involved on the auction side, which the wallet hurts a little bit. Man, it was worth it. But what I noticed now, so you're talking about the first 2 years, it was just strictly, hey, a couple baits, a couple knives, simple stuff like that. Now this is year 3, guys, and when I tell you, he didn't just get a couple baits, a couple knives. You had guided trips. I had guided trips on the second year. You did have some guided trips? Okay. You had I swear there's 3 or 4 guided trips total. I had 2 to start with. For the second year, I had 2 to start with. Yep. And then my buddy Bobby added a second one in, or a third one in. So I ended up with 3 guided trips on the first one. So amazing guided trips, guys. Then not only was there just lures that are custom made, soft plastic, hard baits, you name it. There was rods, ice rods. For the third year, yep. Reels. Yep. Which your boy got some. Wait till I show you. You got the tackle box, which I think this was the coolest idea ever. Tell us about the tackle box for anybody that missed the auction. So
actually, that's kind of funny, is another bait maker actually came up with the idea. He's like, well, why don't you make like a tackle box or something and throw some stuff together? And I'm like, hell yeah. So I went all balls out on this tackle box. I'm like, they were probably just thinking a couple baits. I'm like, hell no. I'm taking a bait or 2 or 3 from every company and throwing it into this tackle bait.
We're saying tackle box. It was one of those big tackle bags.
Oh, what's the size of this cooler?
Yeah, here, let me grab. Here, hold that up.
So your tackle bag
one of those
was pretty close to the size of this tackle.
One of those boat bags is what we're talking about.
So a tackle bag.
So side pockets, everything.
Yep, pretty close to that size.
And
maybe not quite as tall.
I believe it was night 2 you brought that out.
Yes.
And you had tools in there. You had cases, 3,600 cases, 3,700 cases filled with hard baits. You had plastics stuffed, and I mean stuffed in the side pockets.
Yep.
Trust me, I tried bidding on it, guys, and then it started getting out of hand, and I'm like, there's a lot more stuff to bid on. I don't know if I want to risk it all on this. And it was hard for me.
There was
there was jigs.
Jigs. They're pretty much the tackle bag. If it went to somebody that had never fished in their life and they wanted to get into fishing, it was not your average fisherman's tackle bag. Honestly, it's for this bag, a diehard fisherman like myself, like John here, or anybody that's even an avid fisherman could take this tackle box, literally go out in your boat, and you could fish from panfish to muskies with this tackle bag. And I'm not kidding. So it really, and I wasn't trying to limit the amount of people on it. I just wanted something that somebody got, and when they opened it, they were like, holy shit, this is amazing. And I think I did it because we had reels in there. We had line in there for the reel. We had regular hooks, regular sinkers, slip bobbers, everything to start pretty much you, like I said, from panfish to muskies.
Well, guys, and he's talking about that. Like, if I won this bag, I'd have been stoked. But also, if I've never fished before, I would need a rod, and I could hook some of those reels up, and I could go take these baits and go start fishing. And like you say, catch anything from a bluegill to a 40-inch muskie, and I'm ready to go. So minus a couple little things, new angler, you're in.
It is, and that's kind of where, that's who I was kind of keying on. Somebody that, hey, I want to get into fishing, but I don't know where to go. But I also was looking at somebody like, hey, I don't have a lot of custom stuff. Well, this is a way, or I need a new tackle box, and I need some new lures. This is a way for me to get everything in one. So it was kind of like, all right,
how do you find that perfect?
How do I find that perfect balance?
I think you nailed it.
So that's why I was like, I need some of this, I need some of this, I need some of this. And I actually was like, I don't have any of this. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go buy a couple things. Like, I didn't have any sinkers, didn't have any plain hooks, didn't have any bobbers. So I went out and just purchased it. Not a big deal. A few bucks here, there, a few bucks there. And I just threw them in there. I was like, great. Now we have pretty much start from A to Z pretty much covered in there. The only thing I probably don't have in there, and people yell at me, is catfishing stuff. But there are some things that you could use for catfishing.
Well, so if any of you guys are big catfishermen and want to donate some catfishing gear, so then that way they have something to bid on, now you know, get to them, donate some catfishing gear, and trust me, this man will auction it off, and the money goes to a great place. But now, we added a third night.
Yeah.
This is year 3.
This is year 3 nights. So we get
night
through.
1, how did that go? Obviously, I was there. I know how it went.
Night 1, we broke 3,000 on the first night.
How did you feel after that?
I was like, this is awesome. I actually,
were you nervous?
Backtracking a little bit, like a week before everything started, like even during the week that I painted, I did the live painting. I tried to bring other companies on to join me. And that's why I want to try to do more next year, is reach out. And I understand everybody has their own life. Everybody can't just drop something and come on and be like, hey, this is so-and-so from whatever. And Facebook was being super difficult. Some of the people that I wanted to come on, they couldn't come on. Some of the people that could come on, they could come on one time. They couldn't come on, and I don't know what the hell was going on. It would not allow me to have people come on as a guest. And it said I could have up to 3 people now. So I'm like, why isn't this working? So I was getting super frustrated. So I kind of like ended it. I'm like, I'm sorry, folks. I can't bring anybody else on. It's just, I don't want one to keep coming on over and over. It's just not fair to everybody. So during the painting, live painting, I just kind of ended it. And I was like, it is what it is. You know, I'm sorry. And we tried multiple times. I think I got 2 people on, 3 people on during the whole thing. And it was really frustrating for me. So I was like, that's it, done, whatever. So we get through the painting week. And then again, 90 companies, and then my 2 bigger companies, throwing in extras like he always does at the last minute. Then we get to the auction nights. First night went great, 3,000. Second night went awesome. I want to say we were over 7,000 after the second night.
So night 2 ends, and how do you feel at the end of the night?
I felt great. I felt a lot better. I was like, we have a chance the third night to hit our $10,000 goal.
So now you're sitting down at the table. You turn the camera on. Night 3 starts up. What's going through your head? Other than I know you're jonesing, you're excited. It's night 3.
Actually, it's just, I try not to let a lot of things go through my head during this, because I know it's people, the fishing community, not just the fishing community, the outdoors community is a community that is different than a lot of other communities, because they know what like family and life and everything else is about. So when it comes to things like the St. Jude, when it comes to things like raising money for veterans and all that other stuff, it's like they will be hell-bent on to do whatever they can to do it. So I try not to think about too much, because then my mind just goes haywire. So I try to concentrate on, okay, what do I have left here? So we're in night 3. We have a few guided trips left. There
were still some good bait packages left.
Lots of bait packages left. We had, like, one of my local buddies had a quarter beef that we tried to figure out.
If I would have known I was going to make this trip, I could have.
So it was like, which my wife ended up getting. So
hey, it's all good. But yeah, guys, that's the other thing. Now, if you lived locally, you had a shot at a quarter of like prime Wagyu beef.
They're half Angus, half Wagyu. So it's like and they were big. That's besides the point.
But so you're now halfway through the auction. It started out great. I think things were moving.
It was going good, and I'm like, so.
And I know you're hearing the totals in your head.
I want to say, I can't remember the exact totals. Actually, let me look. I do have a picture of the totals for the first couple nights here.
I was curious, like, because night 3 you hit your 10,000 goal.
I think we broke it, actually.
He's got to check, because
I had actually one of the guys that was following. Okay, so day 1 of the 3rd year of auctioning was over 3,400. Day 2 was almost 4,000. It was 3,900, 21 and some change.
So you beat both two years before.
2 years before.
You just beat that.
I beat you beat
year 1 and year 2 combined right there.
Right. Yeah, pretty much. Because I think we were over 7. We were like almost, what is that? 35 and 4. Yeah.
7,500 right
7,500 right there. So day 3, we broke over 5,000. So we're already past. We're at like 12,000 on day 3.
Hey guys, at this point, it kicked in. He got
right.
It. He started. He's like, I'm not getting emotional. I'm not getting emotional. I'm not getting emotional.
And it all stems back to it all stems back to life in general and kids.
Well,
a friend, a good friend that I lost that
Well, you could have ended it right there. Day 3's over.
Oh,
you
I
could have
could
been
have.
done. Guys,
But I still had literally a table that was
I was gonna say
half full of bait still.
We got
I had
to
an
the
8-foot table that was still loaded with baits. And I'm like,
hey, guys, we're still wanting to throw more money in because, well, okay, we're back. Battery died. Had to plug in. But so he has an 8-foot table. It's the end of night 3. He pans the camera over. 8-foot table filled with baits. Companies are still going, hey, I'll toss in more. And there's a lot of jokes going through all 3 nights. You guys got to go check his live. There's a clock that's in the background of every live. It is nothing special. It's special to him. Well, let me rephrase it. It's special to him. But it's not like, every time I was calling, I'm like, what is this clock? Like, I'm jumping in. I don't know what the joke. I'm like, oh. He finally shows up. There's nothing special with this clock. But everybody's like, I'll give you $100 for the clock. Give you $1,000 for the clock. He's like, no, I'm not selling this clock. I'm like, what's it take to sell the clock? What goal you want to hit? He's like, don't tempt me.
so, well, back to, okay, I'll tell you the story about the clock here.
No. They got to go to your TikTok for the clock. Everybody's got to come see you in TikTok. That's a fun night there. But
all right, so
in night 3, you look over, have an 8-foot table.
And it's like 10:30 at night.
And there's still 40 of us in chat, by the way.
Right.
Watching the live at this point. And the words out of your mouth are, we're doing a night 4. Yep. Now, this was Friday. No, this was
Friday.
This was Friday night because you started Wednesday night,
Thursday night, Friday night.
You had plans Saturday.
I had another fundraiser that I was helping with for a local fundraiser that my friend does for infants, babies, stuff like that. She started her own fundraising company. She was with the March of Dimes, I believe, and then she was like, "No, I'm done with them." I don't know what the issue was there, but she's like, she started her own. So I was the rescue driver for their snowmobile ride. It was the Yeti Tour, it's called, and they do it every February. And it just happened to fall on the same week, and I was like, well, great. Then I go from one fundraiser to the next. Well, I didn't realize I was going to end up having to go into a 4th night.
Now, when you said you were doing a 4th night, did it seem real? Like, am I actually saying I'm doing a 4th night? Like,
yeah, I was like, this is crazy. I'm like, I didn't realize it was going to take me that much time to go through all these baits. But the thing about it is if I ran it like a machine and just went,
it wouldn't have been as fun.
Right, I would be just like...
Because, guys, when you check into these lives, he's got his kids in the background. He had his sister. I don't think she was over, but she's in the chat. Your wife was there. You had other
I had
friends
some
there.
of my pro staff up there. I had friends, my mom, my dad. Everybody was there to just help.
Now, night 4 rolls around, and I'll tell you, from the audience standpoint, it was a little more fun. Because first couple nights, it was fun watching how emotionally tied you are to this and actually see how much the fishing community and yourself believed in the cause. Night 4 was, okay, we beat the goal.
Right.
There's no way we're going to hit this next milestone because everybody in chat's going, it is commenting 15K, 15K, 15K.
So it was
now I'm seeing him scramble going, what am I going to put to, how much? Now you did good. You put some good packages together for the last night. You still had some good baits left over. You also had t-shirt and hoodie sales that you are not calculating at this point in your total.
No.
So we're now at 12 and some change going into night 4. Before t-shirt, before hoodie sales. And I'm guessing night 4 you're just like, man, whatever extra gravy we can get on top, because who doesn't like gravy?
Right.
You're just like, man, we get to 13,000? Perfect. We get to 13.5? Perfect. I bet you're in your head, were you actually thinking 15 was a real goal, or were you just like...
At the point with the amount of baits that I had left, honestly, I didn't think so. I thought maybe, when I looked at it, when I got up Sunday morning, I'm like, there's maybe $1,000 I can pull out of this. So I'm at 1,200 and some change, or 12,000 and some change. And I've got an 8-foot table, still 3/4 full. No, sorry, we're at... Let me see here.
It was 12 and some change.
Yeah, 12 and some change. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to pull enough to get 15,000 out of this. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, we'll do what we can do.
Curveballs.
Right. I had, well, I didn't have any like big items for the fourth night. It was basically all just fishing gear.
Yep.
Fishing, lures. So other companies that are involved are jumping in. So I'm putting packages together as good as we can, just throwing things together, auctioning them off, get towards the end of the night. And my friend who was doing these shirts right here, she messaged me and she's like, we're at, I think like $465 just in shirt profit for the fundraiser. And then my wife threw me, she was keeping track on how much we were making each night.
I was like, you had a buddy in chat also.
Yeah, no, he wasn't there that night.
Oh, he wasn't there. Sorry, the first 3 nights he was.
The first three nights he was there, and that was Tom. So my wife slid me over a piece of paper, and so now we're she's at the end of the night, threw a bunch of stuff out, and I'm like, I don't even know what we're at. She slid me over a piece of paper, and we were at 14,600 and something.
Now you got shirt money to add.
Now I got the shirt money to add. No, it was 14,300 and something, because it was just shy. We were $180 short, $140, $180 or $140 short of 15,000, and I'm like, how am I gonna hit 15,000? Well, I'm like, shirts, okay, and I know she got at least 2 more orders in that night.
Well, and then you had guys like myself, which mine went towards the goal because I was giving you extra for shipping.
Yes. And almost every person that had won, unless they were picking up local or I was dropping them off, which is fine. I understand that. Everybody sent at least an extra $20 to $70. It was like, seemed like right around there, and anywhere in there. If whatever they won that night, they sent an extra $10 to $20.
Yep. I was like, every night I was like, yep, that's at least a box full. Here you go.
Right. So now I don't know the totals that are coming in, like payment wise. So I started going through and I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, I'm over 15,000. And so I took, and I can't remember the exact amount. It was like 15,000 in my account now.
Yep.
Now I had like close to $100 in my account from other things.
Yep.
So I don't even know like totals, and I want to say it was like 15,400 and some change.
And you know, a good chunk going to go towards the shipping costs.
And that's what I asked because I can't. I'm a small business. I work Monday through Friday. I can't afford to send all this stuff out on my own.
I don't think anybody complained because they understood.
No, they didn't. Everybody was like, "Hell yeah! Here's $20 to help with shipping." So everything that they sent out pushed us over the $15,000 mark. Now I'm just like, basically broke down. You know, I was holding back the tears, but they were there. Because I never thought in 3 years I would go from, even the first year, I never thought I'd break even 1,000. And then the second year, 5,000. And now this year, doubling what we made the years before, and tripling what we made the year prior. So I'm just like, oh my God, it's absolutely amazing what the outdoor community can do when they come together for something like this.
I know you're taking your break, so anybody that does follow him on social media has probably noticed he hasn't been on lately. Don't worry, you'll be coming back.
Yeah.
And your boy's almost at 1,000 viewers on TikTok, so guys, drop me a follow. We're almost there. I'll be jumping in live with him. And trust me, I've got a huge giveaway, and there's a couple baits in there that might go towards that giveaway too, that I'll be doing on my first live. So guys, follow me. But we'll jump with them. I know you can't promise anything yet because you got some planning to do. Mm-hmm. But are we gonna have 4 nights now? Is that gonna be a thing?
We'll see.
Are we gonna have 4 nights? And then,
I'm guessing, you know, because I like to keep it to like 3 hours max.
And guys, there was a lot of ice gear, but I might be hitting them up with I'm gonna work on some stuff. I can't promise anything either because I gotta work on stuff. I'm gonna make some calls. We might get some freshwater stuff mixed in there too for some rods and reels. He may not have them on hand, but I'll be able to get them shipped out. And at least now that he's met, he knows that if I say I'm getting it shipped out, hey, give me the guy's address. I'm getting it shipped out. But we're gonna try to work on stuff. We're gonna make some phone calls for him. Hendrix is gonna get involved. And you've already been talking with me a little bit as last night stuff, how the auction's great, the money's going to a great cause. Unfortunately, there's some folks that just can't get in when the action gets. And I'm the guy's not gonna lie, there were some bids that got anywhere from 100. You know, some stuff was under 100, but then there's some stuff that got into the hundreds, if not 1,000.
Right.
And that kind of, I get everybody's pocketbook's not that big, or they're just not in a position where they can do that. So next year, I know you were talking of maybe doing some smaller package stuff, to where it's first one to say you're gonna post it, and this first one that's comments mine.
Yep.
And as long as that money hits,
Yep.
it's theirs. That way, if you guys want to get on a $40 package and say you took part, you got a $30, $50 package, and that way you can be like, man, look what I got. I took part. You can. But worst case scenario, as he was saying, go get a shirt. Go get a hoodie. Or jump in the live. There were people that just jumped in the live and sent $20 to his PayPal.
Mm-hmm.
Come hang out, chat, because, man, I've met so many great people in the chat, and we were just having a good time when we were bidding. Bob was just one of his friends. Him and I were giving each other a hard time because we were bidding against each other, and I was like, Bob, stop it, that's mine. Next thing I know, he'd bid 10 more. I was like, gosh darn it, Bob. And then he'd want something real bad, and I'd bid him $10 more, and he'd be like, gosh darn it. So
it is. It's a
worst
very
case scenario. If you can't drop hundreds, come join the chat next year. I'm gonna be pimping it when it gets closer. That way, you guys know when it's going on. He's obviously gonna be blowing it up on TikTok, Facebook, everything he can. What's your goal next year? I'm telling the folks we're hitting 20K. I know that's a big number in your head, but I think if you get the businesses that come through again, plus some extras, I feel like 20. We got this.
I want to say,
You know what
I
happens?
want to hit every year. I want to hit at least what I made the year before.
All right,
That's
so-
what I'll say.
So he's gonna say 15, but I know you guys better. None of us like hitting minimums. We all like PBs.
And that's just it. Even in the chat during the live, people were already calling for next year 20,000. And one of the companies, he's like, hell, let's go for 50. I'm like, shit. I'm like,
We're not there yet, guys.
no. I'm like,
We get to that. I'll make sure there's live scope getting given away, but there's gonna be a minimum entry fee on that one.
Right. But the goal is to make at least what we made the year before. Then I know I'm still doing what I can to help the community. $15,000 from a bunch of companies which threw out stuff to a guy, like some of these companies barely even knew me. Like I just reached out saying, hey, I talked to them for 15 minutes. And they're like, yeah, I'll send you some stuff. They're like, with water off their back if they don't get a return out of it. But the thing about it is I stayed in contact with every single company. I would try to post and I'll be like, hey, this is where we're at. This is how much we've raised. And I try to reach out to every single company that is involved because that's just the way I am.
Well, and guys, when he says he had big companies, he had local companies, big guys all over making custom baits. But then there was big names. There was PC Fun.
Yep.
There was Euro Tackle.
Yep.
Norfin.
And
there was a couple more and I missed. You had a Clam C360 pop-up hub shelter.
Well, that
came from somebody else, but that's a big item.
Yep.
That's not like a,
right.
So whether you've got the small pocketbook and you want to lure to, we're gonna have some fun, you had a good variety.
I did, and I want every year I want it to go a little bit bigger, a little bit crazier. Eventually, I want to get it to a point where maybe someday is centralizing it somewhere and renting a hall and doing it actually live, in person, and
Also
live
streamed.
and streaming.
That'd be fun.
Goal. That's a goal for down the road. That's more money out of pocket, but it's a goal. May not be an obtainable goal. God, I can't speak right now. But it's a goal. But every year we want to do at least what we did the year before. So,
Guys, your 10's gonna get crazy.
right?
But well, where can everybody come find you? Where can some of the businesses that follow me come hit you up? Where can they get you?
They can Facebook.
Okay, what's your Facebook?
It's JGS Custom Lures.
Perfect. And guys, I'm gonna try to link these down below, so click below.
TikTok, same thing, or JGS Custom Lures. Instagram, it's all JGS Custom Lures. You can go on my website. It's www.jgscustomlures.com. All my contact information is on there. My email, my cell number, all that's on my Facebook and my website. You can look at my stuff on the website. I don't have an actual purchase button on there yet. That's to come in the next few months, I'm hoping. I've been saying that for the last 2 years. But
we may need to help him on that.
And
you guys know what I've done for Tyler. We'll get him going.
It's, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any of them you can reach out and talk with me.
Perfect. Well, anything else you want to say to the guys and gals?
All I just want to say is I can't thank the outdoor community enough for what they've done, all the companies that have jumped on and helped. And then, like I always say, hey, God bless Tight Lines. Let's go fishing.
Well, you guys heard him. You guys know I love you. Go hit him up. And worst case scenario, get a hold of me. We're going to help him get this even bigger and better. And I'm still going to be bidding on stuff, so I'm going to see you guys out there bidding. But you guys know, as I say, good luck on the water, and I hope to see you out there.
I saw you in my dreams.